exercise we just did. You're trying to promote to everyone is costly and ineffective. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, so who's going to be the person that you want to walk in your store? Everybody! Well, there's no way to reach everybody, right? So you have to try to group and or segment your potential customer based on certain criteria or characteristics that's going to help you focus on your efforts, your marketing. So you might want to look at geography, right? Where do they live and where do they work? Is it close to where your store or business is going to be? Look at the demographics. That's the age, gender, level of education, occupation, or income. What you're selling, is it hair? Who is that target? Is it women 18 to 34 or is she 50 plus, right? Are they able to afford your product or service? If it's a $150 item versus a $30 item, you got to know who that person is the target, right? Behavior. Why would they use your product or service? What appeals to them about your product? Usage rate of your product. Where did they find info about your product? Those are all important. You want to understand the behavior of who you're looking to target. So if it's a shampoo and it does something for alopecia, you want to know these are the people that you're looking for, and this particular product only goes for a month, so you're going to try to do it for each customer, right? So you got to look at their behavior pattern. Another part of profile target is your lifestyle and values. What are their hobbies? Do they have kids? What do they value in their lives? Do they have pets? All of these things, I have a friend of mine who just opened a makeup place, right, for healthcare. So she realized that her audience also has pets. She started now adding shampoos for dogs and whatever. So those are some of the things that you may want to do. And also the target market should have a need of your product or service and be willing to pay for it. Because you don't want to open a business and give everything for free. You're going to have a price point that you know it's that people can afford. And if you're in a certain area, right, you got to make sure to check the area of the demographic to know that they can afford your product. Identify your unique selling proposition. What do I mean by that? It's pretty much how are you different from your competitor. Your unique selling proposition is the reason why your customers buy from you. It is what makes your business stand out from your competition. So if you have a shampoo and it's all natural, it's for curly C hair, right? You know that's your demographic right there. That's your ideal unique proposition. Because your competitor has sulfates and all that other stuff. So you see what I'm saying? Your unique position is if you buy my product, it doesn't have this in it, it goes to that, it helps to grow your hair. So that's how you're going to be unique to be different from your competitor. What do you do differently? Your special knowledge or skill? Well, it might be, listen, you know what? I've utilized this product and it really worked for me. I'm actually a doctor and I know more about this stuff. So that's your unique thing. Just because you have your business doesn't mean that you may not be a doctor or a dermatologist or so on and so forth. Or it may be certified organic or so on and so forth. Those are the things that make you unique. The other thing is, what makes your customers want to come back to you? Were you nice? Were you rude? Do you make sure you're welcoming? Are you happy to see them? And also, how do your customers benefit by purchasing your product? So those are the things that make sure to identify your unique selling proposition. The next is to develop your brand. And every business, regardless of size, needs a brand. It's more than just a logo, a color, or a tagline. So who can tell me here what's a famous brand? Nike is the one that comes to mind because it really is more than a logo. When you think Nike, all different types of things come to your mind. You're thinking athletes, you're thinking the logo to check the backwards check, you're thinking winning, you're thinking brand, all of that great stuff. A well-articulated brand emotionally connects with your target customers and conveys who you are and what you stand for and what you can deliver. So it's more than just a logo. Like you did first step where you had an idea. All I know it was first, arrow goes up, and then back. So it's so important to just not about it, but there's an emotional idea and emotional attachment that goes along with your logo. Next, you got to choose your marketing avenues, and that's exactly who are you looking to do. So while there are many marketing avenues available, always consider who your target customers are when you're making your decision. Talk about that, right? Options include a website, your social media, networking, billboard advertising, print advertising, cold calling, word of mouth. These are all marketing avenues that you have available. Summer has money attached to it, and cold calling isn't. Listen, I'm in advertising. I work for a big advertising company in Clearton, Outdoor. Guess what I still do? I cold call. And guess what I also do? I network, like today, right? And also get involved in community activities. Be involved in your chamber of commerce. Be around people that you think that might be able to get to the next level. And here's the other thing. Don't only think that the person that you're networking is going to buy something from you, but they may be able to help you to connect you with the person that you need to know, right? And then you got to set your goals and your budget. It's important because if you don't identify what your goals are and your budgets are, you're just throwing things on the wall and see what sticks. And a lot of people do that and they fail. Even if you're selling chicken wings, one chicken wing a day, don't you go into the side room and say, I sold 50 chicken wings at $2. This is how much money I'm going to get. You gotta put a number, right? You can't just like, all right, today I'm going to sell chicken wings. So you got to make sure your marketing goals, they also help to define what you want to achieve through your marketing activities. Your goals should be smart. We talked about that before. It's specific, it's measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Has to have those things. And then allocate a budget for your marketing plans. Nowadays, it's so easy. It's not like back in the day where you had to do TV, radio. Now you have web design. There is TikTok. There is so many different things that's available to you that you can utilize. SEO strategy, design, branding, advertising, staff for your marketing activities. It's important because you might not be able to do everything.
What is SEO?
Search engine optimization. So say, for example, attorneys, for example, because I deal with a lot of attorneys. If you're a PI, a personal injury attorney, there's a million personal attorneys out there, right? But when you formulate a specific type of search engine optimization, if you are looking for an attorney and you're searching, you'll actually get further up. So you can see it on maybe the first page or the first 3 pages as opposed to the 15th page. So search engine optimization, you gotta find a person that's really great at doing that. And there's a person right here in the room. That's what she does. So that's that. And then it's so important that we all forget, you have to nurture your loyal customers. You know why? It's harder to get new people. It's easier to keep the ones that love you. So you gotta love your customers. You gotta appreciate them and value them. Because those are the ones that you're gonna need when times are tough. Right? Your customers are your key to success, so it's important to look after them and provide exceptional service. I remember back in the day, when people used to go shopping, I remember remember going to stores with my mom, and I lived in Brooklyn, and sometimes we would go to some of these Jewish communities, and they would always, my mom would buy either fruits or vegetables, but they would always put a little extra. Marie, I know you come here to put this for Donna or for the kids. That's so important because, you know, it means something to the customer. It means something. They'll come back. And also build loyalty. Communicate regularly through social media. Deliver on your promise. Go to the extra mile. Use companies and use complaints as an opportunity to improve your services. So if somebody says, I didn't like the way you did that, don't be rough on that. Thank you for explaining that to me. I'll just make sure that I do something better. That I value your opinion, right? And also to train your staff. You know, a lot of times when we're a new business, we try to help have our family member because, you know, your kids are going to help you out. It's important to train them in the basic sales processes and also train them to listen to the customer. Because at the end of the day, the customer is what is important here. Last but not least is monitor and review. So you can't have a business and you can't be doing all this stuff if you're not monitoring and reviewing your marketing initiatives. So it's important to regularly monitor and review your marketing to determine if they're achieving the desired outcome, such as your increased sales. Because you're not doing stuff for nothing, right? So if you're going to be using SEOs, or if you're going to be using radio, or if you're going to use TV, or whatever social media you're using, make sure that you know that there's some kind of metrics to measure. Now, here's the other thing. There are different types of measurement. One is to measure whether or not they're purchasing, right? And the other thing is sometimes you only want to brand. Because if you're a new brand, nobody knows who you are, right? They may not buy yet. So that's why it's important to have frequency. You can't just like, all right, I've been here in a week, I'm done. No, people don't buy that way. You know, it's frequency. The more you see it. If you listen to Toyota Hollywood, they're open till midnight. How many times do you hear that, right?
All day.
So it's constant. It's constant. It's constant. If I'm looking to buy a car and it's 11 o'clock at night and somebody listens and go to Toyota Hollywood, they're open till midnight. Once your business is in, so it's also important to monitor every 3 months and not just wait for that 1 week or so. Once your business is established, you can review your plans when you introduce the new product or when the new competition comes into the market. So if you're sailing on your own, this is my store, I'm doing good, I got this area covered, right? And you're thinking you're fine until a competitor comes next door. You're like, oh, I used to get 100% share, now I'm going to have to share. So what do you need to do differently? You may want to step up on your marketing, right? Or you may want to do something different. So that's important. And also monitor activity, including your sales figures, customer activity during an advertising campaign. Also, certain seasonal times, right? So maybe you don't want to advertise during the summer. I live in Aventura. These places get empty during the summertime. It's like when they just leave. So, but they come back in the fall. So, if you're a jewelry store, like, you know, you may want to say, hey, let me just hold off in my summertime, but I want to start back like in September. Or the same thing with back to school, right? So there's a certain period of time that you want to do. So that's pretty much it. And then that's pretty much the end of my slideshow. And I hope you guys got a little bit about what there's another thing, but I'm not sure if I have enough time to go through. Okay, so let's see here. Any questions so far? All right, so what is my real job? Let's see. Can everybody see that? Oh, there it is. I got it. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, got it. So what I do for my real job is I work for Clear Channel Outdoors. And so what does that mean? So what we do is prepare an outdoor billboard and advertising company. What we do is we have roadside, which is the boards that you see when you're in the community. We have digital media, and we have smaller posters. We also have airports. Consumers are always in control, and that's what I talked about before. That there's a study that says 78% are annoyed with ads that interrupt their viewing, listening, and reading experience. So 73% are concerned about personal security and data. 68% frequently skip online ads due to digital device burnout. And 43% are actively trying to spend less time on the phone, computer, and reduce TV viewing. So what that means is a traditional medium of outdoor. Here in South Florida, it's not a transit market. In other words, there is no mass transit here. So everybody drives. It's probably top 3 automotive market in the country. And a lot of times when you think about traditional media, like I can't believe you're into traditional media. It works here. At home is more relevant than ever. Provides creative storytelling. Talked about that before. Expand your reach. Measure the impact on business results. And at home drives better digital media performance without the challenges of digital media. What that means is if you're currently doing digital media or social media, right? We could actually extend your reach. So she's saying you saw it on your computer, you saw somebody giving out on Facebook, but then when I'm driving, I'm like, dang, I saw that somewhere. So you see it again on the while you're driving. So it's extending the reach of your current advertising. So at-home drives digital and in-person behavior, right? Dollar for dollar at-home drives online and social media action. 78% of adults took action with mobile device after seeing an ad within the past 60 days. So when they see it on mobile and then they pass it again, they are more likely to make a purchase. At-home ads also have an impact on 42% of adults in-person purchase decisions. And these are all ComScore, AAA, and Morning Consult. These are companies that do the research. So we don't have to do it. They're saying it, not us. And then out-of-home ads are garnering more attention and favorability. This is just some research here. 88% of the adults have seen an out-of-home ad in the past 30 days. Who's seen an out-of-home ad today or while they're driving? Anybody in this room? Yes. And so on. 61% view billboard ads are favorable, higher than any competitive media. And then, obviously, get more with us with the Twitter channel. As you can see. Airport. And that's pretty much it.
We have a thank you gift for Donna.
Oh,
And then now we have our best-selling author, artist, speaker, and entrepreneur, Shevis Davis.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. I don't have a problem. All right, so don't expect long. Am I okay with that? And all attention on me. So with that said, I'll introduce myself. My name is Shevis Davis. I am a serial entrepreneur. And when we was talking, she asked me, was I always an entrepreneur? And I told her no. But if I thought back to it, I was. So I discovered my gift as an artist when I was 6 years old at a summer camp. All right, and I seen a picture of a ninja on the wall, And I said, wow, that's an amazing picture. And I tried to draw it. And I achieved my goal of drawing it. And so when the kids came in, they saw the drawing, and they said, wow, Shemus, I didn't know you could draw. I said, me neither. And they said, can you draw me one? I said, yes, for a quarter. And so that day an entrepreneur was born because I made about $2.50 that day. I was able to buy some soda from the little machine, able to buy some donuts from the little snack area, and so I realized that my gift, my new ability, can make me money. All right, and so I had to curtail my life towards making that a reality. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, and I want you to know these things as we go through this process of what we're going to be talking about on today. Number one, I am a rebel. Okay, so just allow that. We got my mom in the audience, and she confirmed and affirmed that I'm a rebel. Okay, I am a disruptor. Okay, which means I will shake some things up. And then the last thing, I am a change agent. All right, I expect things to happen when I come into a room, when I come into a place. Whenever I'm affected in a relationship, I want to make sure that things are going to change. I'm a change agent. But you know who else was all those things? Martin. Okay, Martin Luther King. Anybody else? Jesus. All right, and if we're going to be Christ-like, we got to be those things. We got to be a rebel, we got to be a disruptor, and we got to be a change agent. All right? And so some of the things I'm going to say on today may not really go with your philosophy or the way you think. And that's okay. All right? That's okay. So I want you to kind of unlearn some of the things that you learn in church. Some of the things we learn in church. We got churchgoers in here? Yes. Okay, good. So we got the majority. So what you learn in church sometimes will do you a disservice. Now before you throw the Bible at me, before you throw the Bible at me, I want you to understand what I'm saying. I said what you learn at church, which means the community, which means the people. The church is not the building, it's the people that you're around. And if you know business, you will know that you are the sum of the 4 people that you're around. If you don't know that, you now know. So, and your kids count as, if you have 4 kids, they count as 1 person because they don't have as much influence. So think about your best friend, all right, you hang around, your sister, your brother, whoever it is, the 4 people that you hang around, you're the sum of. Okay? What that means is, if those 4 people are making $50,000, guess what you're probably making? Around $50,000. If they're making $20,000, you're probably making around $20,000. But if you shift to some people who are making $500 to $1 million, guess what you're probably going to make? So when I say community, I mean the people that you're around. And when I say church, that's what I'm talking about. All right, now, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. So I want you to understand what I'm saying as well, is that what we learn in church is going to hold us back if you want to be an entrepreneur or a business person. What does that mean? A lot of times, church people will think that the love of money is the root of all evil. Anybody heard that?
Yeah.
Isn't that some scripture? Y'all read that?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, or submit to you this. Is the lack of money also the root of all evil?
Yeah.
You can compare it. There's some rich people doing some really good things, and there's some poor people doing some really good things. There's some rich people doing some really bad things, and there's some poor people doing some really bad things. So you have to make a decision in your mind, what does that statement really mean? Does that mean I should not be rich? No, that's not what that means. But sometimes as Christians, we believe that's what that means. That we should be poor because it's more being like God or being a Christian. And I want you to dispel that. Because if you look and read your Bible, the Old Testament, the majority of the Old Testament are what type of people? Wealthy people. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. You could go down the list. Guess what also the list on? The Hall of Fame of Faith. Same people. You understand that, right?
Don't forget Job.
Don't forget Job. I mean, the list goes on. We can go out all day, read our Old Testament, and learn about God wanted those people to live the what? Abundant life. All right? And so he blessed them by being faithful. Did they make mistakes? Yeah, they did. But they stayed in his will and achieved their purpose. Now, if we're going to be Christ-like, all right, you know what Christ also was? An entrepreneur. What was Jesus' profession? All right?
He was a
We talk-
disruptor.
He was a disruptor. What else did he also do that she just talked about? And Natalie talked about? A marketer.
Marketing.
Y'all didn't get that? Jesus was an entrepreneur. And he marketed his ministry. He marketed his miracles. And then he had a whole team that worked with him. Right? Those are the people that he was around, which made sure that his ministry, his business, went what? Even further. And it still exists.
Today.
Who wants their business to exist for 2,000 years?
The whole time.
All right, you heard of Rockefeller, right? That name. All right, so those people who built those billions of dollars and their names still going, that old money, as they say, can still exist. And Jesus is that. All right, so when you think about his disciples, his apostles, 1/3 of them were entrepreneurs. Who were they? Peter, James, John, Andrew. What were their professions?
Fisherman.
Fishermen. All right, they sell fish and they make
Money.
All right. Did they go work a job?
No.
They got their boat. They invested in the boat. They invested in their rods, their nets. All right, and then they got the fish and they found a place to sell. That's what we all are going to do if we're going to be business owners. We find what our gift is, what our talent is, what we want to do. We cast our nets, we bring it back, and we sell our product or service to an individual. All right? So that's where our mindset needs to be. All right, now, what else I also want you to do is know that your mindset is going to be the key for you to shift to that next level. All right, as we said before, if you think money is bad, then you're not going to make it. If you think money is evil, then you ain't going to make it. All right, if you think rich people are bad, guess what? You're not going to have friends in.
Rich people.
All right, I got rich friends because I want the people around me to be either at my level or above. If I have Hope as a best friend and I'm making $500,000, what's my aspiration? Be a millionaire. All right. So you have to raise your level of consciousness and your level of expectation of the people around you and for yourself. All right. So that's what we're going to be working on as well. Now, one of the greatest scriptures that you'll ever read is what? As a man. So if you think you're a broke, poor person, guess what you are? Broke, poor person. All right? So, but if you think that you are a rich and successful person, guess what you're going to be? Rich and successful. When I used to go to this church, all right, I used to walk down the halls, clap the brothers up, and they used to say, "Big Money Chef," and I used to be like, no, that's not me. And then one day it clicked. It said, "Big Money Chef." I had to affirm and confirm. "Big Money Chef," I said, "You right, my brother. I got it." "Hey, brother, you got it?" "I do." So you have to be able to realize and recognize and shift your mind to that process. Now, what I've been preaching for the last couple of weeks, not necessarily preaching, but saying to people, is that you have to be able to give a blessing and also receive a blessing. Blessings are like cash flow. Okay? Blessings are like cash flow. If you don't spend no money, you're not going to make any money. If you don't bless somebody, then the blessing's not going to come back. So I want you to understand that your blessings are like cash flow. So a lot of times, as Christians, to be humble, somebody be like, you do something to somebody, "Hey sister, can you drop me the so-and-so?" "Yeah, I'll drop it, sister. Here's $20. No. You got it. What are you doing?
Blocking your blessing.
Blocking two blessings. You blocking your blessing and you're blocking her blessing. Because if she can't pass that blessing to you, how's she going to open up the door for the next blessing? Y'all understand? Receive the blessing. Now, if you don't want to receive the $20 that she's offering you,
I thought it was $2.
no, 20. You don't get the next 20, 50, 100. Whatever the person offers you, it could be $1. All right, whatever it is they offer you, and if you don't want it, all right, I'm going to pass out some cards today. My phone number's on the card. Send it to me.
Okay?
Send it to me. Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. I got all forms of payment, so I'm going to send you blessings. So if you get in a situation, somebody says, "Hey, sister, brother, here's $100 for doing that for me," and you don't know what to do, Brother Davis. want to Google me right now, you see my name, my phone number, and you can be able to, if you can't spend that money the right way, you don't know what to do with it, and I implore you, I'm really harping on this, call Chevness Davis, and I will show you what to do with that money. And if you don't want to do it, I'll do something. All right? So I want you to know that as well. So we want to be able to have a shift of a mindset in order to be successful. Now, I'm going to go back some because you guys probably don't, some of you don't know what I do. All right? Or how I came to existence, or how I became an entrepreneur. You know, when I was a child, I sold drawings for 25 cents. But my numbers have expounded since then. All right? So most of you may or may not know that 9 out of 10 businesses fail. 9 out of 10 businesses, are those good odds? No. No. If your boss said to you, I'm only going to pay you 9 out of 10 of what you're supposed to get paid, or less than that, I'm going to give you the 1 that you're supposed to get paid, what would you do? I can't pay you the whole check, I'm just pay you the 1 of the $9 I need. You're going to quit. All right, so the odds are against you in business. We don't want to put a veil before your eyes. I don't want to fake you out. I want you to think that it's all great. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. All right, and I've learned in my years of success in building businesses that I need to be the what? One. So if you start 10 businesses, how many think you'll succeed? You only need 1. You only need 1 to succeed. So it's better that you what? Shoot. All right. So if you think about Michael Jordan, we talked about him earlier. You think about LeBron, you think about Larry Bird, you think about Steph Curry. You think about the numbers that they put up. All right. Now I heard that Larry Bird took 500 shots a day before school every day. 500 every day. 500 shots every day before school. All right. And this is back in what, 60s, 70s? I don't know how old he is. But either way, he kept taking shots. How many think he missed? Out of 500, he might have missed half, but until he kept getting better, he was still missing. So my goal is what I learned, that if 9 out of 10 businesses fail, I need to create how many businesses? 10. All right? Now they talked about this earlier. You need to be persevered, you need to persevere, and you need to be consistent. All right? So if you start a business, and you say, girl, it ain't work, I quit. Then you're not going to have a win. But if you start your first business and it fails, and you start your second business and it fails, and you start your third business and it fails, and you start your fourth business and it fails, do you stop then?
No, you keep going.
Until you get the one that will succeed. Now, I've started 10 businesses. All right? I've started 10. All didn't succeed. I only needed the one. All right? And I'll tell you a couple businesses. I started a company. So let me go back some because since my mom here, I can tell this. Since she had something to say earlier. I got out of college, all right, and my degree is computer art and animation. So I'm an artist, I'm an illustrator, I'm an animator, I do graphic design. I can do any type of art, all right, but I just choose to narrow in to what I love to do most. All right, so my degree is computer art and animation, and I wanted to make cartoons and animation for a living. Now, what you may or may not know, that I like 2D animation, which is Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, the old school stuff. I don't like that type of animation. But what was happening when I graduated is they were transitioning to 3D animation, which is Toy Story and what else? Shrek and all those things. They were switching. All the studios was closing 2D and transitioning to 3D. So when I got my degree, it wasn't working. All right? So I had a decision to make. What am I going to do? So when I came back to Miami, I had an epiphany. Most people don't know this story, but you will learn it today. I had an epiphany that I can do something great. Now I had a check. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design, Savannah, Georgia. There was a check left for me there, and they kept mailing it. They said they kept mailing it, and it never came. So I said, I'm gonna go drive and get this check because it was like $2,000. I needed that money. So I said, I'll just drive and get the check. So while I'm driving, my car broke down coming from Savannah. So I had to buy a new car that only had a tape deck. So I said, I'm gonna take this 8-hour trip to Savannah. What am I going to do? What am I going to listen to with no CD player? You can see the time frame for what's going on. So my dad had a box of tapes, and I said, okay, take this 8-hour trip with no sound. All right, this is before cell phones were what they were. So I took a whole bunch of tapes, and I took out a Ray Charles tape, and I put it in the tape deck, and I listened to it for about 3 or 4 hours. and it hit me. The Ray Charles movie was coming out within a month or so. I said, if I made some t-shirts, Ray Charles t-shirts, I probably could make some money. So I drove and I started formulating a plan for those 8 hours forward and 8 hours back. When I came back, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I bought an airbrush machine. I know how to do airbrush. But I didn't know how I was going to make the stencil. So I ended up taking an X-Acto blade. I'm an artist. I can create anything. So I took an X-Acto blade. I made a stencil. And I started airbrushing Ray shirts. Of course, you need to go to your target market. What's my target market?
Older people who like Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. But not only that, my market just grew because the movie is coming out.
Yes.
So young and old are coming. But we also got to see our community. What do I do most of the week? What do I know most people at?
In church.
Church.
Yes, indeed.
So I sold one shirt to one church member. Ooh, where you get that from? I want one. Boom. I wear a shirt wherever I go, a Ray Charles shirt. So when I go to the mall, movies, wherever, people ask me, where did I get the shirt? I make the shirts. I am the source. I was making $1,000 a week selling Ray Charles shirts. All right? So I started shirts at like $10, and then I started like making glitter styles, different colors, and people would ask me to custom, so they went up to $25. But I was killing it. Boom, boom, boom. I was killing the game. So I realized this is going to work for me. This is going to be it. I'm going to be able to move out and become a great person with just selling t-shirts. But I was still at home. My mom said, you need to clean this room up and get a real job. I said, real job? Real money here. No, you need security, you need benefits, you need a real job. And I was like, and then she started cleaning it up. And guess what? I'm out of business. So you got to be prepared for that. I didn't save anything, I was spending money. But you got to be able to prepare for your next thing, your next shift. But now what I do have is a knowledge and a confidence that I can build another business. So I ended up becoming a teacher, and I told myself, and we talked about this too, Natalie, I told myself, I'm only giving the school board 10 years of my life. I'm using all my money to invest into my business. I said, I'm going to take the money I make as a teacher, I'm going to live, but the rest I'm going to invest in myself and my business. So then I started another company doing, I bought a t-shirt printing kit, but they never sent it. So I lost $10,000. That's another business gone. And then I started the comic book company, all right? But I didn't know how to sell comic books. So I was doing it, but I wasn't making any money. Then I started another company, Chevis Man Art Productions, where I did digital and fine art. So then people would hire me to do wedding albums, wedding videos, and I started doing that very well. And I found a mentor. This is key information. You want to always have a mentor, somebody that's doing what you want to do and that's successful at. Don't ask somebody or talk to somebody and say, yeah, I've done that before, and they have nothing successful about it, nothing to show for it. Those people you need to push away. One thing I learned in business is the most expensive advice is free advice. All right? Not to say that this event is worthless because somebody paid for this. I'm talking about the people that ain't done nothing, that can't show you nothing, and ain't giving you advice on how to do something. Right? Oh yeah, I did that before I started this. What happened with it? Well, it didn't work for me. So it's not going to work for you. That's not. Those people you need to push to the side. All right? So just to finish my little resume, all right, as we go into the next thing, to show you where I became successful. I kept starting business. I had a business called Bike Man, where I would take a bike. I had banners on the back. I would ride around, and then people can see their businesses while I ride around on the bike. Got shut down by the police. You can't do that in Miami Gardens. So, as you go through the fail, you got to fail your way to success. Kept going. Video, photography, t-shirts, kept going. And so I said, I'm going to try something different. I took a break. You know, all those losses, I took a break. I had to rethink, reset, repivot. I was going to buy a franchise car. Everybody ever painted with a twist? So I'm going to buy me a franchise. They already have a business. I can just buy it. Could be an entrepreneur and do that. So I went to go try painting with a twist. I took my wife. We went and did a painting class. But I didn't like the way they did it. I said, I don't want to buy something that I don't like. I'm going to start and create my own. And so I decided to create my own. And while I was doing video and photography, I did a wedding. And I put my kids in the car after the wedding. In the house after the wedding. I came back that morning to get all my equipment out to go to church, and all the equipment was gone. $6,000 of video photography equipment, all gone. And I broke down. All right, y'all ever read the book Lamentations? Y'all know what Lamentations mean? What does it mean? It means to cry and weep bitterly. That's what happened to me that day. But I will tell you this, I had a good talk with God. I said, God, how am I going to be an entrepreneur, a business owner without any tools? He said, can you teach? I said, yeah. I said, are you an artist? I said, yeah. I said, can you motivate me? I said, yeah. He said, do what I gave you. Do what I gave you to do. And I said, what? He says, all you need is all. So from that point, she said it costs a lot of money to create a business. I started with $400. I bought easels, canvas. My mom and dad was my very first class. And when my dad did this, he had never painted before in his life. And so I'm making something different that's going to happen. I wanted to motivate people with my gift. I wanted to understand what it feels to be an artist. I wanted to have the experience of understanding what faith is. And Paint with Faith was it. Our motto is, your life is a canvas painted with faith. So I felt that if people could achieve their goals, their dreams or desires, by doing something they don't know how to do, that they could make the connection that started a business, started a family, become a Fortune 500 CEO, whatever it is you want to do, can be done by this simple explanation or analogy. Because if you can do a painting and not be an artist, then what else could you achieve? What else could you do? All you need to do is three things. You need to have motivation, you need to have guidance, and you need to have faith. All right? So that's our principles. Motivation, you need somebody to push you. You need something to activate you. You need something to strive for. What is your why? You need to have guidance, somebody to show you the way. You need some steps. You need some books you need to read. You need some lessons you need to learn. But then the last part is the most important, which is your faith. All right? Faith without works is dead. Faith without works will also leave you broke. All right? So you got to have faith in your business, but you also got to do the work. You got to do things like this. This is what you need. You need a network. Your network is your net worth. All right? So events like this will get you to that next level. Meeting the right people. I had a conversation with her. She was my first person to talk to during that meeting part. She said, what do you want to do next? And now this is a segue into the next thing I'm doing. I said, I want my animation to find the right producer so we can have a television series. You know what she said to me? You say your brother-in-law, right?
My brother-in-law is an executive producer in movies. He's done, he's an executive producer, Somewhere in the Middle. You've probably seen that. So I'm gonna connect them and figure out some. He's in LA right now, just working on. What's the show with Niecy Nash? He's the executive producer.
So whatever it is, all you need is that one connection.
Yes.
And it will take you far. That one, she was the only person I'll talk to. We didn't even move. So your network is also your net worth. So you got to be able to do things like this, connect with the right people to get you where you're trying to go. So let me tell you what Paint with Faith did for me. After working Paint with Faith, I began to learn a lot. I started reading books. My mom said she wanted to learn. You have to learn. You have to open up your mind. You got to read a couple books. I recommend that you start with Think and Grow Rich. That's exactly what we're talking about. If you want to be rich, you got to think it first, and then you will grow to being rich. All right? Think and Grow Rich. Another one of my favorite books, it's kind of rough if you're a Christian, it's a rough read, is the 10X Rule. All right? So those are two books that I really, really like. There's a couple more, but start with Think and Grow Rich. It's a long book. It's going to take about 13, 14, 15 hours to get through it. But if you make your way through it, I guarantee you will have a change. All right? Now, so Paint with Faith, this is going to be our 10 years. All right? 10-year anniversary this year. It's allowed me to leave my job as a teacher and segue into being a full-time entrepreneur. All right? As she said, I was working as a teacher, and I realized that the money level was going up. I kept taking days off from work to do my business. I had a bunch of days because I never took breaks. I never took days off, so I would take a day off, do a painting class. What I made in the class would be sometimes what I made in a week. And when I made the transition, when I found out I did one Valentine's Day, and I looked at the two classes, a total of maybe 4 or 5 hours of work. And that check, well, it was 2 checks. 2 classes that day, 2 checks. was what I made in 2 weeks as a teacher. I said, God, you ain't got to tell me no more. That's it. I need to go. Because all I need to do now is what I said to myself, is increase those numbers. If I can do that in 1 day, what if I did that every day? I can take a month off. So what I want you to understand as a business owner, as you become an entrepreneur, it's not about working and making money. It's about time freedom. All right? You don't want to work to pay bills. You want to work so you don't have to do anything.
Correct.
That's what you want to do. If I can make what I'm supposed to make as a teacher on Monday, then I can take 2 weeks off and not do nothing if I want. Or I can work Monday and Tuesday and take a month off. Or I can make Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and take a month off. You see how it works.
Yeah.
All right? So that's what you want to be able to do. Increase the numbers. All right? Increase your levels. Increase your activity. Like she said, your 9 to 5 will determine your 5 to 9. I didn't work from 5 to 9. I worked from 5 to 12 a.m. building my business. That's the way you do it. Sometimes I work from 5 to 5 a.m. building the business. I work a whole other shift. And if you work a whole other shift, you can move much faster. All right? Don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. All right? Sleep later. But if you want to achieve your level of success, you don't have time can't be a restraint. You got to be able to push through those things. All right? How much time we got left?
That time.
All right. All right. Because I want y'all to be activated, motivated, so when you leave today that you don't hesitate. All right? That you're ready to push the button. I'm a button pusher. When I was a kid and a new video game came out and I didn't know how to play, I just pushed the button, move the joystick until I win. All right? And that's how I live. Now, Payment Face brought me through these 10 years. All right? So it helped me build myself as a business owner, meet a lot of good people. I have a huge network. I have a lot of fan base. All right? But also I made enough money to transition to other things. Now, when you make the money, don't just spend the money. Reinvest the money. Okay? Reinvest. All right? You're only supposed to do, it's supposed to be 30, 30, and 10. You take 10%. All right? 30% invest, 30% in savings, 30% you're supposed to give. All right? That's how it works. And that way you can spend a little bit faster. All right? Don't take it and lower the numbers. If you got some expensive cars, expensive hobbies, whatever it is, you got to decrease those numbers so you can increase your investment numbers. All right? Now, if you need coaching, business coaching, I'm not going to tell you all the secrets. You can also use me as a coach. All right? That's my newest business. ChevisDavis.com. You can get a coaching session for free, the first one, and then I can coach you with some of these things. But I have a lot of tips and tricks that's going to get you to that next level to help you be better where you are. And I'm a Christian, so I'm going to give you the right steps to do it. So from Payment Faith, I was able to invest in starting another company. All right? I had a real estate company before. I have a real estate company now. And I was able to transition to buy a convenience store in another state. All right? Then I ended up buying a laundromat in another state. Then we bought a bunch of real estate in another state. And so now I can take what I'm doing with Payment Faith and continue to reinvest in other things. I just produced my first music video with a musical artist, and now that return on investment is going to be coming within the next month. So you begin to build your portfolio, your stocks. Stocks are good, Bitcoin is all good, be smart with it, but you got to be able to take the money you're making and reinvest it in other places. All right, that's how you're going to increase the level of being better. All right, we're coming to a close. Fear. Everybody know what fear is, right?
Yes.
What does it stand for?
False evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real. All right, these kids, the boogeyman under the bed, in the closet, in the shadows. But guess what? It wasn't really there. Fear is an illusion. All right, fear is going to always be an illusion. But what if you leave me? What if my car breaks down? What if it don't work? What if it don't fit? What if I don't look right? Those are all illusions that you're making up. All you have to do is shift that. Fear also stands for fail early and responsibly. All right? Or it can stand for feeling excited and ready. All right? So fear can be whatever you want it to be, but don't let it be a hindrance. Let it be a motivator. All right? So faith is seeing fear and still going forward. All right? Faith is seeing the fear, feeling excited and ready, and fail early and responsibly. All right? So I lost a lot of money. Okay. I lost a lot of money. I got a lot of business debt. I'm not afraid of it though, because I made a lot of money, and the businesses pay for my business debt. We talked about loans. The guy said, don't get loans. That's a good idea. But if you're a good money manager, you can make it work. You get a loan because you see the money and the people and the customers are getting ready to give you money. Get a loan to supply and demand. All right, if that's what you want to do. Don't take advice that doesn't work for you. Take the advice that works for you. I like to get a lot of money ahead of time before I need it. As a business owner, you want to have money before you need it, because when you need it, it's not going to be there. All right, so I'll get loans. I'll get credit cards. I'll just have it until I need it. All right, so just have it ready. If you have $50,000 saved, just have it ready. If you have a credit card with $10,000, just have it ready. All right, if you get a loan, approved for a loan, they'll get the letters in the mail and say, I'm going to give you $15,000. I don't need no $15,000. Yes, you do. Just have it. You take the loan, let it pay for itself. All right, because you do automatic payment, you get $15,000, whatever it is, $500 a month. Let it pay itself until you need it. But now you got it to invest when you are ready. That's one tip. That's what it is. All right, so the last thing is you need to be consistent. All right, you're going to want to be consistent with whatever you're doing. 10 years since having a mistake, I had to be consistent. Chevis, can you do this class? Yes. Chevis, can you meet me tomorrow? Yes. Chevis, I got $1,000 for you. Yes. All day long. I was always consistent. Emails, text message, respond. Because everyone that I responded to is going to have a check at the end. You got to be a person that's likable. All right? I try to be a likable person. When I teach my team, I have 15 other artists working under me. In our training, it says you got to be the favorite husband, the favorite brother, the favorite sister. You want to be that favorite person of our customer. That's how I teach my team. When they see you, oh, hey, Crystal, hey, Sean, hey, Jonathan, like we're family. And if you treat your customers like family, then guess what? You can ask them for money. Yeah, well, they'll pay for stuff. Not only that, as we said earlier, word of mouth is 90% of my business. 90% is word of mouth. 90%. I pass out flyers like y'all gonna get a flyer today. Everybody calls me and says, hey, Chefs, I got your number from this person. I found your card over there. My auntie said that you, boom. Word of mouth. I do some Google ads, I do some other stuff, but 90% is word of mouth. So you want to make sure you do a good job. The last part I want to tell you is leverage. All right? You can't do all of it. You can't do everything. I can't be here and in New York running my business at the same time. I can't do 6 classes a day with Payment Faith by myself. You gotta use leverage. You gotta find some people you trust, some people you don't trust, people just willing to help. It may work for you today and quit tomorrow, but at least that time that you get is going to help you go to the next step. You got to use leverage, whether it's money or people. All right? Now, when you use people, you're not using people, but you're using people. All right? So you got to be able to use, hey, can I help you with this? Yes. And learn to say yes. In the book, the 10X rule, he says say yes to everything and figure it out later. You found another job? Oh, okay.
And have a business, that's all.
Okay. So, say yes. Can you do this? Yes. And figure it out. People ask me to do stuff that I don't know how to do, and I figure it out later. There's a quote that says, the things you need to learn to do, you learn by doing. The things you need to learn to do, you learn by doing. Do we all know how to walk? No. Just got to admit it. You fail, and now we can all walk. All right? So the things, don't say, I don't know how to do it. Learn. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to do Payment Faith. I didn't know where the customers were coming from. I didn't know how to buy real estate. I didn't know how to run a laundromat. I didn't know any of those things. Now I can fix a washing machine. All right? Now I can run a store. I know how to do inventory. I know about alcohol and cigarettes that I never knew about before. All right? I know about all these products in different stores I didn't know about. Now don't say, Chef, you know how to smoke and drink. No, I don't do that. But I know this in stores. When I see stuff on the shelf, I never do that product. Now I do. The things you need to learn to do, you learn by doing. I never had a business in the hood like that. I learned from my business in the store is what Christ really wanted from us. You see downtrodden people. You see people that with addiction. You see people with hang-ups. You see people with issues. And you learn to deal with them with love. Whether they cuss you out, whether they steal from you, whether they do whatever, you learn to deal with them in love either way. Because they can always come back to your store and realize that you're a person of integrity and in love. And when you show that type of love, they will always look out for you. You never have issues at the store because we operate out of love. The alcoholics, the drug addicts, the drug dealers, and everything in between. All right? Now, I will tell you this last part. Business is not nice all the time. All right? You got to have some grit. As Steve already would say, you got to have some dogging. I know I look like a very nice guy. Right? I grew up very nice. I've always been very peaceful. But when I learned that I'm a business owner, I couldn't be that way. I couldn't get run over. People holding my checks. People not paying me. I got to take care of my family. People stealing my stuff. All those things I had to change to be a different type of person. And you will have to change. You cannot stay the same and be a business owner. If that's not for you, that's fine. It's okay to be where you are if you're happy. But if you want to strive to be great, to be a success, you're going to have to dig deeper within yourself and see what you can do. I faced demons in my laundromat. People pulled knives on me. I had people break into the machines, and I had to deal with them. Like I said, I'm a really nice guy. But there's some things that I had to do that I'm proud of and not proud of to make sure that I maintain what I was trying to achieve. God blessed me to be a coach of wrestling. So now I'm equipped to do whatever I need to do in case something happens. But it also blessed me to have the mindset, the mental toughness. When I have my wrestling team, I have three things, and we'll close this. Because M-E-T is what I tell every person that I coach. M-E-T. Mental toughness, endurance, technique. That applies to business, it applies to life, and it also applies to being an athlete. Mental toughness to deal with whatever is going on in your life, overcome it in order to win. Endurance to be able to go the duration of whatever it is. And then technique is learning and taking what you've learned and using it as a skill set. All right? M-E-T. That's the only way I took wrestlers or people that were nerds, that was unfit, and I made them athletes. I took people that was overweight, too big to do anything, and I made them bodybuilders. All right? Because they had to have the mental toughness. I had to push them. I had to make them go through the process. And then I trained them to be what I wanted to be as an athlete. And we were winners. I'm a winner. I like to be around them. I always believe a person with a loser mentality always lose. But even a winner find a way to win. All right? So I want to empower you with that today. I want y'all to be encouraged. I want you to know that you can achieve whatever you want, but you have to have the mindset first to be able to do that. I'm here to build you up. I'm here to coach you. I'm not new to business. I've been in business for over 20 years. You may say, oh, I thought you was 25. I'm not. I've been in business for over 20 years. And I've been doing it wrong and doing it right. But now I'm at a level of success where I can give and teach people what I've learned to help them be better. And I want you to win. All right? I want you to achieve any goals you desire. I want you to meet the right people. I want you to have a level of success where you can go on a cruise for a month with your parents and be able to pay for the whole thing. Because that's something that you want to do. That's your why. So find that and then work towards it. All right? Hope you enjoyed that. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Questions? No questions? Wow. You did a good job.
Yeah, wonderful job. You did.
If you don't want me to sit over here.
No, thanks.
Well, now we are going to prepare to have lunch and further network with one another. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your attendance today. I plan on having another one in July. Bring people with you. Thank you again. God bless you all. Chef, can you say a prayer on the phone?
Sure. Let us bow. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for your grace, your mercy, and protection. Thank you for all that you've done, all you're going to do. We thank you for allowing us to be in this event, networking, connecting, fellowship one with another. Heavenly Father, to know that we can build your kingdom and and build ourselves, Heavenly Father, at the same time. We ask that you continue to bless us in many ways. We ask that the food may be nutritious and delicious and be nourishing to our bodies. We ask these in our prayers in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.